Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses. Wonderful testimony, all of you. I appreciate it. And I want to follow up on the chairman's question about the pace of change. And Mr. Getz, you said in your written testimony that job training is not CTE and CTE is not job training. And in fact, you cited an article from 1986 in which experts recommended abandoning rote entry-level job training and reforming what was then called vocational education, as you explained. To integrate academics, teach teamwork, critical thinking skills. And here's a quote from your testimony: prepare young people for a working life of continual learning, problem solving, and communicating. And I couldn't agree more. And I submit that's even more critical today than it was in 1986 with the pace of change. Things are very different than they were in 1986. There were no computers in classrooms in 1986. Students didn't have cell phones. We didn't have AI. It's a different world. And preparing students for the jobs of the future is not the same because we don't know what the jobs of the future will look like. It's very different. And CTE is important and beneficial because, as I mentioned, it's typically this hands-on, project-based learning. And when you look at the 21st century job skills, collaboration, critical thinking, communication, confidence, creativity, those are skills that matter no matter what path someone takes or no matter what job someone goes into. So we need to strengthen this and realize that why CTE is important, and it's not what this administration is doing. They're kind of stuck, I think, back in 1986 when it's 2025. So Mr. Getz, the statutory requirements for Perkins program include academic achievement measures, alignment with post-secondary programs of study, support services that are embedded in educational institutions, and then transitions between secondary and post-secondary education. These are all elements that presume administration in an education-focused agency, as you mentioned. So is it correct that 77% of states implement CTE through their state education agency, that K-12, 14% through post-secondary education, and 6% through standalone CTE agencies?
That's correct.
Does that sound right? So will those state entities be better served by the Department of Education or by the Department of Labor?
By the Department of Education, with whom they've had a relationship for many years.
And the staff at the Department of Education who were accustomed to this work. And also, Mr. Getz, we've heard reports that the transfer of funding and administration has already caused some serious problems, as you mentioned. At least 4 states have reported they could not access Perkins formula grant funding during the transition period when OCTAE attempted to move grantees from education's payment to the DOL's payment management system. And some states have reported delays in receiving their payee account numbers needed to access their formula Perkins funding, and other states have had challenges getting bank accounts to even be recognized by the new payment system. Other requirements like wet signatures, all these things are creating significant challenges in accessing formula dollars since the transition was initiated. And all of this suggests the transition from the Department of Education to the Department of Labor has failed. So could all of this have been avoided if the Perkins formula grants were still administered by the Department of Education?
Absolutely. They've made it harder to get Perkins funds than it is to get a mortgage.
And I want to emphasize, too, that this committee has worked hard on the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act and other workforce programs. And those are important. I'm not minimizing those, but they're not the same as educational programs, such as the CTE programs that are mentioned. And we heard some great examples today. I think they're wonderful. There are so many industry partnerships that are happening. But again, the focus needs to be on career and technical education. It's not career and technical job training, and it's even more critical with CTE at middle schools and high schools. Again, we don't know what the jobs will look like. So Dr. Volzer, Mrs. Rice, and Ms. Gasper, do you agree with Mr. Getz that career and technical education is education? Anybody disagree with that? Go ahead. Anybody, do you all agree that it's an educational program, career and technical education? It's more of an educational program than a job training program? Go ahead, Dr. Volter. I'm almost out of time, so go ahead.
Sorry. I think it is, you can't separate the two. Education to align with skills that secure, sustainable, thriving, waged occupations should be the goal of education. Building a well-rounded individual is absolutely critical. When we talk about workforce-ready skills, it is those critical thinking, problem solving,
And quickly, and maybe one sentence, your thoughts on the education aspects of CTE, Mrs. Rice and Mrs. Gasper, because I'm out of time. Maybe one sentence.
I think when we look at what we get to do through career and tech ed, it's really determined at our local level in terms of the educational component piece.
Thank you. I really am out of time. I'll yield back. Thank you.